Hello, drivers, and welcome to our virtual safety meeting. We're going to do these each month so that you will be able to view the safety meeting in the event that you weren't able to make it. So, with that being said, first off, I want to thank each of you for your hard work. You guys have a difficult job. I know that sometimes it seems like lip service from us, but we truly appreciate all your hard work and the dedication you have to White Mountain Trucking. And our safety contest this year, just want to bring up a couple things. It runs from March 15th to December 12th. There's 40 weeks. First place gets $15,000 in cash. Second place is a Can-Am 450 Outlander 4x4 quad. It's like a utility quad. And then third place is a sport quad. So there's ways to earn points and there's ways to lose points. So in addition to the safety contest, every 4-week period that you average 6.2 miles per gallon or greater, you will receive an additional 3 cents per mile for those miles you drove. And then every 4-week shop inspections with driver vehicle inspection reports, you'll receive an additional $50. There's other ways. Again, you get points. So 6.2 miles per gallon or higher, 25 additional points. Weekly in-shop inspections with your inspection report is an additional 25 points. If you run 3,000 miles or more, you get an additional 100, 2,500 miles, you get an additional 75 points, 2,300, an additional 50, 2,000 miles, you get additional 25. Clean level, different level inspections. So a level 1, there's only one of these that you can get credit for or paid on every 12 weeks, and that's a level 1. You're going to get a 50 points and I believe $60. Level 2 is 30 points. Level 3 is 20 points. You're using your Samsara to upload your bills of lading clearly and turn in the originals later when you get here. You're going to get an additional 25 points. No log violations, 25 points a week. Then dependability with dispatch, 25 points a week. No harsh driving incidents, 25 a week. And your ranking in Samsara is 0 to 100 points a week. Point deductions, safety events, extreme, minus 50, small, minus 10. Asphalt accident is minus 300 points. Any speeding tickets, 150. Using your cell phone ticket, 150. All other safety tickets are 75 points. Any out of service violations you get during an inspection by a roadside inspector or at a port, out of service will be minus 100 points. Any other non-out of service violations are 20 points. No inspections for 4 consecutive weeks from our shop is minus 100 points. Now if you're out running and you don't have the ability to make it into our shop, all you have to do is contact Scott, tell him which town you're going to be in, and Scott will be able to set up a inspection in the town that you're in, most likely at one of the Loves. Equipment damage, if it's $500 to $1,000, minus 100, and equipment damage over $100 or $1,000 is minus 300 points. One of the big things we're going to hit on is proper use and non-proper use of the personal conveyance. So personal conveyance is for personal use or reasons, as off-duty only when the driver is relieved from work and all responsibility for performing work by the motor carrier. So you can use these vehicles, but we have limitations. So it says here, motor carriers can establish personal conveyance limitations. We do 50 miles a day, and it has to be for personal conveyance. So what's personal conveyance? Appropriate examples are time spent traveling from a driver's en route lodging, such as a motel or a truck stop, to restaurants and entertainment facilities. Commuting between the driver's terminal and his or her residence, between trailer drop lots and his or her residence, or work sites in his or her residence. In these scenarios, the commuting distance combined with the release from work and start to work times must allow you enough time to get the proper rest you need so that you're not fatigued. You're also allowed to travel to nearby reasonable, safe locations to obtain required rest after the shipper runs you out of time or the receiver runs you out of time. But it has to be to the first such location reasonably available. So you can't just take off and drive the 50 miles because that's what we allow. You have to stop at the first reasonable location. These things would not qualify as personal conveyance. The movement of your semi in order to enhance the operational readiness of the motor carrier. For example, bypassing available resting locations in order to get closer to the next loading or unloading point or other scheduled motor carrier destination. Continuing a trip or repositioning, that's something a lot of you do. You get to the shipper, you don't want to go on duty right away, so you go PC from the street or a nearby parking facility into the shipper. That is against the law, and these guys can see it. You know, once you get caught, it's not going to be nice. So time spent transporting a commercial motor vehicle to a facility to have vehicle maintenance performed. Then time spent traveling to a motor carrier's terminal after loading or unloading from a shipper or receiver. Now, if this terminal is the nearest, closest location, then you can do that. But if you're bypassing several truck stops or one truck stop to get here, that is illegal. So, and remember, annotate your log. Why are you doing this? The more you write down about in your annotation, the less you're going to be asked alongside the road. And you don't want to be making stuff up because they can pretty much see right through it. Yard moves. Yard moves are performed only within qualified areas. The way to perform a yard move, you go to yard move, you start it, but it has to be on that private property. So it has to be at a place where there's no public vehicles allowed. So places like CMC, Can-Am, where you got to go through a gate, they don't let the general public drive through. Truck stops, anybody can drive through a truck stop, so you can't use your yard move in a truck stop. So become very familiar with this. This next video is how you can edit your log. So the sound I don't think comes through, but it's really good, step by step. They kind of go through it, and you should be able to see exactly how it's done.
In this video, we will review editing your logs in the Samsara driver app. You can make edits by clicking the HOS section. Here, I can see my current duty status, my available time, and scroll down to my logs. Here, I can see certified and uncertified logs, whether we can change to Friday. I was on duty for part of Friday morning. We'll update the time by clicking on the edit button. Picking a start time.
I don't believe they have this clock anymore on there. It's just a place to
Next,
put in the numbers.
My desired duty status. And since I'm making an edit, a remark is required. If I attempt to save, I'll be given an error.
So again, you gotta put down an annotation on why you're changing your log.
Free from text. I just saved my edit. On this page, I'm also able to update my trailer, shipping ID, as well as edit the edit I previously made if there are changes I need to make. In general, edits are only allowed on uncertified logs. However,
So you can only edit an uncertified log. Once it's certified, then you have to call me and go through me to get it to update or to change whatever. We cannot change drive time. Nobody can change drive time. This next one is your hours of service.
in this video, we'll review the approval of carrier edits process found within
So
the
this,
driver.
if you need me to change your log,
Any changes made to
this is how you're gonna accept it.
by that driver. We'll typically use functionality for scenarios where drive time needs to be edited. Under the US DOT mandate, drivers are not able to edit away drive time. So they will often need to certify their logs and then have an admin make edits to that drive time. Once those edits have been made, they appear in the driver app as carrier edits. We can see a recent edit by clicking on the HOS icon.
See the carrier edit at the top?
I can select.
That's the way it'll come up. Once you select it, you can see the green check mark. If you don't want it, you can hit the X next to it. It'll turn the X red and uncheck the green check mark.
Delete it.
Then you have to hit certify and submit.
The edited log and the original log.
So you can see the difference.
Because the log was already certified, I will approve this change by clicking certify and submit. This will recertify my logs as well as approve the carrier edit. I have now approved a carrier edit to driver with Samsara driver app.
So it's pretty simple, all these edits and whether I do it or you do it. Here's how you do a roadside inspection, transfer your hours of service.
In this video, we'll review how to successfully comply with a roadside inspection. To start things off, if you requested to share the required manual or inspection sheet with the inspector, you can produce those physically or
So the instruction sheet and the manual to use your log is right there at that cog wheel. Then you touch help, and there they are. We keep getting written up for this.
as well as the inspection sheet. Both virtual and physical documents are compliant with the US DOT manual. To successfully present your logs, transfer if necessary, head into the HOS icon.
So to transfer your logs, go to the HOS icon, scroll down. On the right side it says roadside. Click that.
Here, I can see my logs for the current.
You're going to see all your logs. Then you hit transfer at the top when you're ready.
Today. You'll see your name if you successfully certified and signed your log.
So remember, when you hit certify, it signs your name to the log. And you have to certify every day.
Here,
So once you hit transfer, most of the people will want it on wireless web service. A new aspect is that they have a 4-digit PIN you can put in so that they can't see anything more than what they're allowed to see.
by the inspector.
Make sure you remember that PIN, 4 numbers. So whatever you put in, you got to take it out with the same 4 numbers.
The process cannot be undone, so definitely be sure that you enter all.
Once you transfer your logs, there's no way to untransfer them. So they're gone. So, that button right there, the square box with the arrow in it, this button is used to log out. That means you're not logged into that truck anymore. If you bring your truck to the yard and you don't log out, and the mechanics get in to move it while you're off at home or wherever you're at, then it's going to put you in drive time. And nobody can edit drive time. So please, when you're here and you want to be logged out, hit that button and log out. Just don't go off duty. Your message button is where myself, Mike Young, Mike Chavez, Scott, Carol, or dispatch might send you just a personal message. The cogwheel, again, this is how you show your in-cab materials to law enforcement. To keep your tablet running smoothly on this screen, you can see the Play Store. It's on the top row, second one from the left to the right, and it says Play Store. Once you tap the Play Store, it opens up this, and you'll see the 4 apps. These need to be updated almost on a weekly basis. Once you tap on one, you can see how it says TC 2.0. You can see update. Google needs an update. Samsara and DriveWise need updates. Once you update them, they run really good. When you don't update them, they don't run very good. So let's talk about load securement. This person did not use edge protection. You got to use edge protection. Remember, if there's more than 3 tiers or 3 tiers or more, you have to tier strap. And what that means is you're going to go over the top, and then you're going to go through midpoint or one above. So on this case, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stacks. So that means I would go through at number 4, just like this person did. And where you put the strap over the top, you need to put 1 through the center or 1 above. All the way back, about every 8 to 9 feet. Remember, in the first 10 feet, so remember, you need 1 strap for every 10 linear feet of load or fraction thereof. So if you have a 50-foot load, you need 6 straps, unless it's tiered like this, and then you would need 12 straps. You want to space your straps out evenly. So don't go one right next to the other and then have like a 12 or 14 foot section open. You want to evenly place them out. On hauling the coils must touch the one in front of it or behind it. Either way, they got to touch. The front one has to have 3 over the top and then 1 going around the front with the J-hook. Remember, don't pull your chains back. This one's pulled back at like a 70-degree angle. The maximum angle you should have is 45 degrees. Okay? The back, again, 3 straps over the top, whether it's straps or chains, but always the one going through the J-hook in the front, you want to have the chain. And again, not more than a 45-degree angle. So here's the load that came in, got slid because the driver 1 didn't tier strap and 2 did not secure his load properly. So we have had enough slid loads to last us a lifetime, folks. So please do your load securement right. The last guy that slid his load is probably never going to be right again. He suffers from constant back and leg pain. Has dizzy spells continually, and the accident's been over a year old. So, I mean, this can affect you for the rest of your life. This person, whoever did this load, did a fantastic job. Remember, chains on metal. So these are 8 feet long. So if you have a bundle that's larger than 5 feet, but less than 10, irregardless of the weight, it has to have 2 tie downs. So they did a great job. Only 2 tiers high, so you don't have to tier strap. But this person did 2 chains and 1 strap. This person did an outstanding job. Now, we look at the other side. I love the fact that they use ratchet binders. They're easily adjustable alongside the road. And just, again, great job on this load securement. So, what does the rub rail say? Do not use rub rail or tarp bar to secure load. But what does this person do right next to it? They use it. So, there are ways to get around using your rub rail all the time. The rebar coming through the tarps. We're spending a ton of money. This could have been avoided by doubling up your blanket, putting your blanket around it, and then tarping. Every time we have to repair these tarps, or if you're out on the road for a while with holes in it, the tarp isn't doing its job. Each week we're spending about $360 to repair tarps. That's over $18,000 a year. The cost of a new set of tarps is about $1,000. So please take care of those tarps. I mean, there is no other company out there really that will give out equipment like we do. We want you guys to have the best equipment, the best stuff available. But if you don't take care of it, it's going to continue to deteriorate. So this stuff is easily slid out because there's no downward pressure. The stickers underneath the top stack only go as wide as the top stack. So there's no downward pressure. So if you're looking at this, how can you fix that? Well, you can slide a strap in between the two bottom tiers, or the two bottom stacks, and the stack on top of it. And then you can secure that separately. So there's always a way to do it right, and it won't get you in trouble. We do not put the chains up there. There's nothing up there to do this with. If you get out to CMC and it's loaded like this, just ask them to lift it up, take the front chains off, lift it up, scoot your stickers back, set it back down, and then redo it. We do not want this riding up here. The trailers aren't designed for that kind of weight at the very front and the very back, so please keep them back between the two stake pockets. Again, look at this. Why is this chain sagging on the bottom? It's because it's only being pulled from one side, not both sides. And then whoever's doing this, you've got to pull it tight before you start to tighten it. So this load here on the left, that driver cross-chained it and really did a great job. They don't want to get hurt. They want to go home. They want to make it. The person on the right, that person only wants to throw the straps and get going. But that doesn't work out well. Also, these are 4 level high. You have to tier strap. So again, tier strap anything over 2 levels high. This is a great load securement. Chain on steel. Chain on steel. Look how he uses where he wraps it through 2 separate pockets, or two separate rounds to make a triangle on his chain. This is a fantastic load securement. You look in the front, they're pulling everything back to stop the forward movement. Once they stop that forward movement, they're not going to end up like this. And this is what I talked about. This fella is not doing very well. And this collision occurred at 22 miles per hour on a city street, about a quarter mile away from where he loaded. He had enough straps per the law. He had edge protection, but you can see it didn't do a dang thing for him. So once it got reloaded by a professional truck driver, this is the way it looked. So you could tell that this guy didn't want it to happen to him. Again, please do not let us see this come in. Are the straps equally throughout the load? No. Is he tier strapped? No. And if you get to a shipper and they have it an upside down pyramid stack like this, please tell them to restack it. I have no problem with that. And I'll go to bat for you guys every time. because this is not a good way to stack. Plus, you gotta have the tier strapping. This is a fantastic job. This person really went above and beyond. It's X'd in the front, lots of straps, great job. Again, 60 and 65 foot rebar, chain front, chain rear, pull from both sides, and minimum 7 straps over your rebar. That's our company policy. Anything that hangs off the back of the trailer, we are to flag and light, irregardless of the length. If it's over 6 foot in Arizona, or 5 foot 11, you need to put your banners on. Banners mean you can only run 55 in Arizona. If you get to California and your load is less than 14 feet off the rear, pull your banners. We don't want you to get in trouble. So again, you're only pulling on one side. You're not gonna get the securement you want. If you don't have enough of the D-ring straps, let us know. We'll buy more. Or you can put a binder on there, a ratcheting binder, and pull from this side. There's always a way to do it. Please be aware of your surroundings and be safe. So what's missing? On the left, he's got his flags, but there's no lights. On the middle one, there's nothing. On the right one, we have lights, but no flags. So remember, if it's wider than 2 feet, flags on both sides at the very end. Lights go to the very end. And if you're more than 5 foot 11 off the butt, you are going to put oversized signs on, front and rear. And they have to be legible from directly behind the vehicle and directly in front of the vehicle. So again, our policy, flag and light, anything off the back. This one, this should have been built up a lot higher prior to leaving the shipper. The sign below, you can't read oversized load sign, so he's in violation of his permit. And the roadside inspector can actually take your permit from you at that point, and then you have to sit until Kiki gets you another permit. So don't leave the shipper, make the shipper fix it. That's the goal here. So on this one, is this correct? Has the driver followed the rules? They're 22 feet long. How many tiers are there? There's 3 tiers. So you should have gone up 2 and through, and then over the top. And they should match next to each other, side by side. 22 feet long, so how many straps do you need? Well, 1 for every 10 feet, or fraction thereof. And then, so at 22, you need 2, and then there's a fraction, the 2 feet. So there's another one. And then you have the penalty strap because it's not up against a header board or something blocking it. So they have enough over the top, but not enough over the second level. These are 20 feet long, so you only need to have 3 straps. They did a great job. They went up, it's 5 levels, so you go up to number 3, go through. They matched it over the top, great job. Here's your flagging and lighting. So if it's less than 2 feet, you can get away with 1 flag. If it's over 2 feet, flags on both sides. Oversized load signs, mounted to the front or roof of the power unit, mounted to the rear of the load or loaded vehicle. Has to be parallel to the ground. That means it has to be laying the same, it has to be readable, and it can't be cockeyed one side higher than the other. Readable from left to right and clearly visible from the vehicle's front and rear. On this one, if you have oversized loads that are wide, then once it hangs off more than 4 inches off the side and you're running during darkness, you're going to have lights. So on the front, you have to have either a light that shines at a 45-degree angle or amber on the fronts, red on the rear. So anytime it sticks out on the rear of the bottom, you're going to have amber, red. I apologize. So here's some videos that we continually, and I mean continually get. Some of these guys out here are playing Russian roulette. with their lives and the lives of